let's go. Yentarasi lagi. Kadangan. Anak komputer bangke pada mana? Mau aja. Particular tested betul saja. Terus gitu kalau opsi ya berapa waktu ini ya di malu aja. Itu terus kita ini.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And after weeks of intense matchups and 30 teams left in their wake, the final two have emerged. They have clawed, fought, and outplayed the rest, and now it all comes down to this. And this is the grand finals of the, of course, Northeast Underdog Tournament 2.0, and we have our finalists, which is the top dog bracket, Zohunt versus Eliminators. And tonight is going to be a special one because not only we have the finalists, me, myself, Ray, and Fredo joining. Of course, we also have, you can already see on the screen, it's ourselves, like our own Indian MPL caster Kronos joining us onto the casting desk. So of course Fredo onto the side, and this is Kronos. So Kronos, how are you? First of all, you're the highlight for tonight because you're our guest, and of course congrats on the MPL Latam.
Hey, thank you so much, Ray. It's a pleasure to be here. Once Fredo invited me, I was like, yeah, sure. We worked out the details, the timings just matched, and here I am making sure to cast for the War Drum Games Northeast Underdog Tournament in But also, thank you for your praises, and thank you for telling me I'm the highlight. But let's not forget the highlight are actually the teams that are taking part, right? If I'm not wrong, it's Zohunt versus Eliminators. And who better to tell us more about these teams than Fredo himself?
Yo, thank you for that, Kronos, for of course being present here tonight with us to cast this game. It is of course the top dog finals. Eliminators, Zohan, they have all battled and made their way here through the Swiss stages, and then later on through the playoffs. Of course, Eliminators were the first one to reach the finals, sailing through the playoff stage. No losses. So on the other hand, Zohan were defeated by Eliminators, and now they're back up, facing them again in the finals. So of course, Zohan, they will be seeking revenge here from Eliminators tonight.
And the revenge is what best served cold hot. I mean, Kronos is a chef. He knows what is best served. But the jokes aside, of course, we're going to be witnessing the game. I mean, just like I mentioned, Zohunt has already been defeated and they were pushed back to the lower brackets, but they have clawed their way through. They even defeated IGN in that the lower bracket finals, and they were able to come back top. They fought many battles and they are finally able to come back to the Eliminators. But of course, we also have another highlight because just like Kronos mentioned, the teams are highlight. And talking about the teams, their leaders are of course their highlight as well. So we're going to be inviting their leaders, Dusty Mizo from Zohunt, and of course Art from Eliminators for a short interview. And it's going to be an interesting one because we're going to be asking them a few questions. And oh my god, like look at it, like 1, 2, 3 glasses. I need to join, guys, come on. Yeah, there we go. I'm not going to video all one out, Dusty. Sorry I threw you under the bus, but jokes aside though, Art and of course Dusty, you guys can right now speak. Art, first of all, must be nice to finally speak to the audience. Come on, Art.
Yeah,
thanks for inviting me.
And Dusty, hello.
I mới cái match cái trận tí kiêng chơi vào không bra. Mấy tên Eliminator, mới chơi mix này mấy anh có sao?
He's so casual about it. He's like your chat. He's like the streamer. But of course, we brought you here for a small interview, all right? So we're gonna ask you guys a few questions. First of all, I'm gonna move to Dusty, all right? You got pushed into a lower bracket, so I'm gonna ask you the first question. Right now you must be really happy, right? This is kind of like the tank and fight meta, but previously it was assassin meta, right? Like we had so many assassin players just popping off. Why were you so fixated on the tank junglers? What's it?
See, the thing with me and assassins is that I know most of the mechanics, right? But when I try to utilize it in tournaments, my macro, my rotations, don't know why it always gets terrible. So yeah, that's mostly why.
Okay, short answer. I like it. So, next question it is gonna be to Art, obviously the roamer and the shot caller for Eliminators. Kronos, do you want to ask him a question, or do you want me to? What about you?
I mean, go ahead, Ray.
Okay. Art. So, you guys have already been like into the upper brackets with 0 defeats onto the top finals, right? And I'm not gonna reveal it, but this is a question that someone wants to ask. In your journey throughout this Nerd 2.0, which was the strongest team you faced and which was the weakest?
Obviously, the strongest we faced was Zohunt because they have Dusty the Ghost
Wow.
himself in
Wow.
there.
And the weakest?
I won't comment on the weakest though because every team they're trying. So, yeah.
Drop a hint.
They might be the
Drop a hint.
strongest tomorrow.
One letter. Drop a hint. Come on.
They're from Nagaland.
Alrighty. Alright.
Okay.
A few shots fired. Team from Nagaland better watch out. And of course, next question back to Dusty. Fred, do you want to ask anything?
Well, my question to Dusty would be, Dusty, what are your plans tonight? Because I've seen you play Joy for 3 games in a row. So are you going to change your heroes, or are you going to stick to the Joy? Or is it too hard to say that?
I don't know, man. We'll just wing it. We don't even have a proper plan. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, interesting one. So, Dusty, I'm gonna come back to you. Another question. Of course, this is more of a smaller, not too controversial like what I asked for Art. Sorry, Art, I threw you under the bus there. But Dusty, who's your most favorite member in your team? Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I like him the most, bro. Like 90, 80, something like that. Who's your favorite team member? Simple question.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. Don't know. I hate most of them, but Faden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's pretty insane. So, Protos, you wanna ask anything? Of course, go ahead. Ask any question to Dusty or Art.
I was gonna say, that you guys have made it to the grand finals. Of the but not just that, you are also one of the top teams, right? Not just one of the, if not the top team. There's always a kind of a tussle in the top between Stepros and you guys, but you always come out on top. It's not just once, not just twice. It's multiple different times. But here in the Wardroom Northeast Underdog Tournament, that's consisting of all Northeast teams at the moment with the format that's in place. So you think if you win this one, you're going to be the best team in the Northeast?
Good one.
Hard to say. Nah, I won't consider us the best. Considering one team, you guys would know that Tartarus, they got something happened to them. They got how do I say? Disqualified. Yeah, disqualified. So yeah, we still have to beat Tartarus.
Okay. Okay,
but,
humble answer. Yeah.
I mean, but also at the same time, I was just gonna say, like, hey, come on, you gotta have the confidence. You're in the grand final, so you gotta say it with your chest, man. Say it with your chest, like, hey, yeah, we can be the best team for this tournament, at least so far for this month. But it's okay. Staying humble like everyone usually is. It's nice to see that you have your eye on the prize still and looking forward to the next step as well. That's nice to have. You have a long-term plan rather than just short-term for many of the teams and the players. But also Art, same thing. when you're playing, I don't know if you've heard when we
เรียก
constantly
เรียก
say
นะผม
that you're
เรียกเจ้าโฮได้ไงผมเว้น
or
Pero
showing
no,
us the art of playing in the roam position, right? That's what we
Okay,
like
okay,
to
no.
say
Nang Discord
whenever we
okay ba?
cast, especially when I do. So are you gonna show us that tonight, especially against Dusty while he's in the jungle?
ไอ้ delivery
Right, hopefully, because like if I am not able to do that and I can't stop Dusty, then like who's gonna stop him from winning against us?
มายุ่งเลยมาเลยแบบสเกลมายุ่งมา
Oh, both these teams are so humble. These
Yeah,
guys
why
are so
are
humble at
they-
the same time. Say something with your chest, guys. Come on, Art. You say something to him. Trash talk him. It's okay.
Yep.
making
They are my brothers.
in MLBB. I'll check after I finish this.
Brothers
that is good.
outside, but
I'll
foes
see
in
that,
game.
I'll see
That's
that,
what's
bro.
the most important. I like that you show sportsmanship as well, which is very important. And hey,
Discord
Dusty versus Art,
Apa kaya orang dia?
Zohunt versus Eliminators. What more to say? It's gonna be exciting.
Absolutely. Before we, of course,
Laba,
go
man,
into
may
before we head
brother.
on to the matches,
Kayo ni.
Simizo, I have a question for you. This is obviously by a fan. It is that, what's your opinion on being called India's Mobazane?
Nice question.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. You know, back when I started playing jungle, you know,
Mm.
before I was playing XP, I was playing jungle, and I used to watch MOBAZane's stream. You know, I copied
sense.
most of his heroes. Yeah, so I kind of blame MOBAZane too for me not being able to use assassin. Yeah.
That is a fun question. So he's technically your idol, so it does make you feel good, of course, and it's really nice that the fans also think of the same thing. And of course, before we head on to the game, of course, Eliminators this time around, we of course have to address that. Congrats to Eliminators and of course Art for making it to the grand finals this time, because previous season you guys were not able to make it even to the top 8, but this time you have done it. It's a great improvement. Not even top 8 to top 2 right now. And Zohunt, you're back again. You guys were also the runners-up in previous season in 1.0. This time, you're again the runners-up. Can you be the champions? It's gonna be a really interesting story. But of course, thank you for of course Justy and Art for coming here, for giving us a few slight questions. It was pretty fun, pretty good responses. We can ask you guys a lot of questions, but of course we don't want to take much time. Go ahead and prepare for the team, and we're gonna be starting the match quite soon. So thank you, Justy and Art. Say your goodbyes to the audience, because you're gonna be handing to the draft piece soon. Dusty, Art, come on.
Bye guys.
Dad.
I'll see you after I win.
Bye. Sayonara.
Solo.
Okay.
Just solo.
I like the confidence from
Solo,
Dusty.
solo,
This
solo.
guy was humble, but suddenly he's confident. I love it.
We'll go and win, he said.
He's a chill guy.
So I can leave, right?
Yep.
you can leave. You prepare your team.
Definitely you can.
Yeah, definitely you can.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
ไปรัวๆก็นั่งเกมยังไม่แรก
They're gonna be heading off, and we can go back to the caster deck and discuss a little bit about what's going to entail tonight, because of course, and I feel like the main highlight for Zohunt is that a lot of, we had a poll like which team is going to be winning. A lot of people thought IGN was the one who's going to be coming up into this top 2 spot, because IGN lately they have been looking very strong in Chronos, but they were able to defeat Zohunt with even a peculiar pick like a Masha onto the XP lane. So I feel like that not just solidified that they were the better team, it also showed that they had confidence and something, to nail something experimental like that, they definitely have good skills to show for.
I mean, it's experimental for them, but they've seen it somewhere, right? Observing is key when it comes to executing something. So you want to understand how to make it work. When you see some of the professionals do it, you're observing, you're seeing what the execution looks like, what they have to do, what is the win condition, and for them to be able to find that and get it right on the first go, high risk, high reward.
Absolutely. And Fredo, you've been there into the previous season when Zohunt became the runners-up, right? This time around, they have improved a lot.
Okay.
But since you've been casting the whole tournament with me, of course I can tell you that, but do you feel like Zohunt still has some lingering weaknesses from the previous season? Anything you want to point out?
I do feel like they have some weaknesses. I feel like Faden is actually one of the key players who controls the game from the mid lane. So it's like if Faden's rotation gets choked, if the side laners do not get the help, or if he's not able to dominate the enemy mid laner, then Zohunt, suddenly start losing control of the game. And that's how, sometimes they usually like to go aggressive in the early game, but if they're not able to get that, then that becomes a problem for them. But They still try to make it happen somehow, but dragging it late. But the thing is, snowballs are, quite reliant. So, that's the reason I feel like, they'll be depending a lot on Faden as well. So Faden cannot, he has to show up tonight. He cannot just, be like, I can't show up tonight, guys, I'm sorry. He cannot do that tonight.
Yeah, of course. And Kronos, okay, we suddenly have the talents prediction. What do you think about it? Of course, Kronos' prediction is also gonna come. What do you think about our prediction so far? Fredo says it's gonna be a 4-2 for Eliminators. You're like complete opposite of me, Fredo. What do you have to say about that?
Hey, I'm not.
Yeah,
you know what?
Yes.
It's not just Fredo's prediction, but if I take a look at it, the odd one out over here is Ray. He's the one with a 2-4 in the favor of Zohunt. Everyone else is looking at Eliminator. So to be honest, I don't even want to throw the question to Fredo. I gotta ask you.
Oh my God!
Where did that come from, Ray?
I was trying to hide myself, but it looks like I've been exposed. I got busted. But I feel like I just feel like being the runners of previous season and they have been climbing back from lower brackets. I just feel like they are definitely not just the deserving one, but also the one to, the one to might be the one who, they're strong enough to take down Eliminators. But okay,
Whoa.
Okay.
Yo, what's going on?
Swift prediction man.
4-0 for Zohunt and
0-4 guys,
4-0 for Eliminator.
Oh my God,
You know what? Fredo, this is you, man. I don't know what Bolty's thinking. He got a gun to his head as well.
He brought out this slogan, all right. He brought out the slogan "Zohfate arise."
4-0
Zohfate means children, so he's literally saying the Zoh children arise. So he's like a Zohunt fanboy himself, so it kind of makes sense why he's going for this 4-0 thing. But honestly, of course, he points a gun to his head as well, so he might be considering once again, if what he's saying is right or not.
4-0 they have
previous season he did the same thing. 4-0 for Zohunt. But
yep,
that was the curse.
0-4
That was the curse. But jokes aside, I love the confidence for Zio as well. 4-0 for Eliminators. Looks like we have a lot of favors into the hands of Eliminators, and Bolty, you and me, my boy, we're the only Zohfate supporters tonight. But jokes aside, it's definitely gonna be a nice one. So far though, I feel like it's the predictions have been quite consistent in this. Either gonna go for game 4 or it's gonna go for game 6. Kronos, do you think we're gonna be seeing a game 7?
I'll be honest, as a caster, I'd like to see only 4 games. But as a fan of MLBB and a fan of Mobile Legends 5, in this case, I definitely want to see it go down to 7 games. But as a caster, I want to see 4 games.
We get it. Of course, it's gonna be an interesting one, definitely. And we're gonna be, of course, we're letting the players get prepared, and we're gonna be, diving into the drafting phase quite soon. And it's gonna be, of course, game number 1. A lot of strategies playing hand. Fredo, you're going to be, of course, our analysis for tonight, and I wanted to point out one thing. It's that, the recent patch, it's not exactly recent. Right now, it's been a week. 23rd of April, it dropped, and we saw a lot of heroes rise up. But still, of course, Kimmy, Glue, and Yushin are still banned in the tournament. You cannot use them, so of course, except for them, a lot of other heroes have been adjusted, and it brings, what do you think is going to be the highlight for tournament? Because before 23rd of April, we saw mostly goal laners, like the Harith and Granger. They get first pick, like 99% of the time it's just Granger, Harith, auto lock in. They recently got nerfed a little bit. Do you think that shifts the priority a little much?
I do feel like that shifts the priority by a lot, actually, considering the fact that, of course, it's kind of a tank meta upcoming right now, upcoming, like you can say fighters and, of course, the tanks, both of them are quite dominating. In the jungle area, you will not really find any Fannies anymore, not even the Hayabusa. Very, very less these days, of course. So it's like the goal lane might not be getting the the huge nerf or something, but it's definitely the other roles which are getting buffed. So as the tank and as the tank jungler meta does come into play, it also means that the mid lane becomes much more important. So in the game, it's of course the mid lane which is going to control the game from now on. And that's why in today's match, it will be really important to see the the matchup, the laning matchup in the mid lane between Bid and Faden, because both these guys, they're really experienced, they have vast hero pool. And Faden, his signature pick is of course a Valentina. Meanwhile for Bid, it's the Sicilian. but I'm not really sure if a
Chronos is
Sicilian
the
can
king, guys.
work, you know, because considering how
Yeah.
Dusty likes to go in aggressive and Zohan's
Oh,
playstyle is aggressive, I don't really think, you know, Eliminators can go forward with the Sicilian pick.
Okay, interesting one. Yeah, as well. As well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, of course, Kronos is just not a caster. He also plays. So if you want to catch his stream, subscribe to Kronos as well, of course. But Kronos, since you of course play as well, you know, a lot of rank matches in your stream and stuff. After a patch note, right? What do you think? Feel like is the more important role? Because you did mention, I remember you said that gold lane is like before 23rd April, of course. Gold lane was the most important lane. That was my question to Fredo as well. Do you think it's what's your opinion on that? Is it still the strongest? Of course, it is the carry, but what carries the early to mid phases?
62%
Previously it was the gold lane because the change didn't come to the gold crab. There was too much gold present over there. Faster item power spike for late game marksmen. So that's why the gold lane was definitely on the top at least. But now with the slight change to the patches, the gold lane has gotten saturated. And I would still say yes, the gold lane has the ability to carry the games. But now it's more focused down towards your level 4 power spikes. Your first turtle, your second turtle. That means your EXP lane is going to be absolutely crucial along with your roamer. So if the rotations are on point and if the EXP laner with the mid laner and the roamer hit the level 4 on time, and if the jungle also has a perfect rotation to hit that level 5 before the turtle, these are the perfect win conditions, right? Roamer level 4, EXP level 4, mid lane level 4, jungle level 5, and all go gung-ho at the turtle, and that is your perfect win condition to come out. So if you ask me, every
start the
single
game
lane is
fast,
kind of
bro.
important at the moment, but a little more highlight towards EXP lane because you need
anything,
someone to try and force the occasion. So letting the roamer
No,
be
bro,
the
you're a game, bro.
secondary engage option.
Of course. And
Most of the people are saying here,
and
like,
there we go,
62%
ladies and gentlemen.
they're
We're
saying,
kicking
like, you're a
things
game.
off with the first match of the grand finals of the Top Dogs. It's gonna be Eliminators and Zohunt. This is match number 1, of course. Answer casting, as you can clearly see, it's Kronos, our MPL caster, of course, our guest tonight, and of course Fredo as well, and myself, Ray, as your host. So of course we're jumping into the game, and just like we discussed, and there we go. You just mentioned the EXP is gonna be important. They instant ban out the Phobius Kronos, like not even a second wait. It was instant.
Yeah, it's the Phobius is banned out. It's a respect ban indeed, because you can see also that Zohunt like to play the Phobius in the EXP lane, if I'm not wrong. But not just that, because it's a good hero that can be picked up in the second pick, right? First pick, I wouldn't say Phobius is the best because you got the Gusion, which gets banned out right now. And then you have the Suyo, you have the Joy. Suyo not the greatest in the current patch because the magic defense drop, but the Joy is still available. And then you have the Hylos, it's versatile, Gatot Kacha as well. And then of course the Herod and the Granger. Not like they're weak, they're still strong, but can still work their way around.
I'm going to focus. Okay.
Oh, okay. You know, talking about MOBA 8, Fredo, you see the ban, right?
Yep. Look at that, once again. We're seeing the Fredrin of Mr. Dusty getting banned. And I mean, in the last match that we saw, it was Zohan like versus IGN. I mean, 3 games back to back. Or was it 4? I don't remember. But it was like Fredrin, Matilda, Fredrin, Matilda, Fredrin, Matilda. It's like they respect, you know, Dusty up to a point where people start thinking that, okay, this guy, he must be really good on Fredrin or something. But it's like, even when it was open in the 4th game, they didn't really pick it up. They still went for Joy. So that's like the most interesting part.
Eliminators has the first pick right now, Kronos, and you know, I feel like they would probably just commit to a Gatot Kacha right now, even though, you know, we just discussed it. I feel like they will just, okay, wait, who's open for a second? What do you think? I feel like they're gonna commit to EXP, just like you mentioned.
Yeah, maybe the EXP
Lucas?
is there, but I think the Lucas is a good pickup right here. The Florin's also a good pickup.
Oh yeah.
Just because you get that extra bit of heal. A Sicilian can be there, but it's again the second phase rather. Hayabusa is still left open, so I think a Florin is good, but then you're forcing a Hayabusa on the other side. Without the Fredrin, is gonna be tough. Either the Florin looks the best, to be honest.
And okay, I was right, but I was not expecting a, you know, Aura coming up for the first pick. I was not expecting the Barang because I know he has been slightly enough still good, but an interesting choice. But on the other side, you know, Fredo, we have we also have Win and Mizo-san. Like, what do you think? This art is this art gonna be going, or is it gonna be legend?
I think it's definitely going to be legend. The Badang is always better to be played in the EXP lane because, of course, his zoning potential much more there. So yeah, of course, Badang talking about it, will be definitely missing Bolty tonight. I don't know if Kronos watches our streams or not. We're kind of unhinged. We do like to use a few words here and there. So yeah, Kronos, of course, Bolty with his signature word, fisting, which he likes to use when he sees the Badang and the Kalia, because of course they're fisters, right? They use their fist to fight.
Yeah, they definitely do. And I mean, looking at the pickup as well coming from Zohunt, it just goes to show that they're covering their bases. They want to dive into the back line, and they want to make sure if any high ground mage is present, like the Farsa, they are always under threat. This Moskov is kind of a counter pick in the gold lane. You want to go straight for it so that whatever comes on the other side, you're going to have the advantage in the late game. Split push ability, mobility is on the card. Zohunt are cooking.
They're definitely cooking, even though Chef is here. Jokes aside though. Seeing the Frederick Ben, I was expecting the Joy to be coming up, and I almost Eliminators. Kronos, of course. I have to mention it to you. Faden is India #1 Valentina, and this guy plays Valentina not as a utility mage like most people do. He plays it like a burst mage. You think it's an Eudora with the amount of damage he deals and the way he picks off. So I feel like this is less of Eliminators going for a caution pick or trying to counter pick. It's more of like, we do not want to ban out Valentina, but we also don't want to give it to the Faden. So I feel like this is more of a respect pick. What do you think about that, though? I feel like, is it going to be worth it?
If you ask me, the Valentina is a good pick, not just because you're denying it from Faden, of course, but also because you're denying the counter that could come in for that Lucas. I don't like the Jawhead here, though. I feel like the Jawhead is kind of forced. It feels like Zohunt won't have any other roamer to be picked up, so they go for the Jawhead. Because who are you going to really lock down? If you're going to go on towards the Badang, he's going to use the Fist Break, and then he's going to be immune. The same thing with the Lucas. He can turn, unleash the Beast. He's going to be immune once again. So the Unstoppable Force, yes, you can lock down someone, but with the Ejector, who are you really looking to take out? Because the same thing with Bid on this Valentina, if he goes through with the Unstoppable Force, he's able to directly target Miso-san or the jungler of Zohunt. So it's gonna be difficult for us to see. So I don't like this Jawhead pickup. I feel like it's too early. Could have gone for something like a Gatot Kacha to provide more space. Because now they're looking to ban out the Tig, the Chip, the Selena, maybe the Sicilian. The Sicilian's a perfect ban over here.
Fredo, and of course I gotta give it to Kronos, of course. Mizo-san here is, of course, formerly Family Problem, and his specialty is, you get it right.
Big fan, bro. Big fan.
Yeah, he loves to play the pick-off heroes. But Fredo, of course, the question is to you. Just like I agree with Kronos, I feel like the Jawhead is a little bit too early. Like, I feel like it's a little bit too early, and I feel like the whole reason it's going there because Dusty is not playing any tank jungler, so he cannot pick up a support, which he lately has shifted to. So maybe it's a little bit too early. What do you think? But there is a Louis, though.
Yeah, of course. A lot of utility in the mid lane, coming in from both sides. Of course, Bid will play the Valentina more like a utility, in comparison to Faden, who likes to go for more of the burst type. But yeah, I mean, this Jawhead does feel a little bit odd, considering this lineup. But it does, it still, can, give some amount of early rotations, because of course he does have that ejector play. But oh, look at that, we're seeing Harriet, and of course Harriet is something that can easily dominate the Moskov. But do you think it's going to happen or not? I don't know. But Prime, he does like the Harriet, but he decided to go for the Moskov this time, and macro heavy composition coming in from Zohunt.
Okay. I'm looking at how Kronos is grading. I don't want to say anything. Kronos, go ahead. I feel like
Eliminators just cooked, bro. Whatever Zohunt were cooking just got burnt. I'm not gonna lie. Eliminators look super strong. They have the chain CC ability. They have a pick off. They have the late game damage with this Harriet. They also have early game level 4 power spikes. The Valentina is gonna be able to take the diversion. You're gonna have that split push ability. You can even use the electrifying beats. Yes, the Masha is a good pick. I'm not even surprised about it because you're not gonna be able to do anything. Who are you gonna go with the Thunderclap onto? Okay, you get half the HP on Harriet, but once he drops the Zaman Force down, even though he's nerfed, he's still gonna do a lot of damage. Yes, you have the early game with the Lu Yi, but your mid lane is, you need to be super aggressive right off the bat. If not, you're gonna have a tough time.
Absolutely. Freddy, what do you think of the lineup? Because, you know, the way I was seeing Chrono smiling is like, yeah, he definitely knows what's cooking. What's your opinion on that? I feel like I agree 60% with Kronos. What's your opinion?
I mean, I agree with what he said, but you have to look at the side of, you know, Zohunt as well. This lineup, okay? I mean, like I said, I mean, even Kronos mentioned it, if they play early game, you know, well, they can, you know, make it work. But on the other side, in the later game, in the later phases of the game, the thing is, if it goes into the late game, the Moscow and Luo Yi, they can out macro. And the fact that they have a Masha as well, of course, Masha not the best pusher these days, but still one of the best pushers, right? So that's one of the reasons I feel like Zohunt can still out macro them if it goes into the late game. But yeah, that will depend on how they execute this lineup.
Absolutely, and I'm really curious to see the spells. But of course, Kronos, take it away.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't get ready to rumble because we are in the finals of the Top Dogs in the Northeast Underdog Tournament. Indeed, Mobile Legends 5v5 bringing you the best action there is from the Northeast right now. As you take a look on your screen, it is indeed the Northeast Underdog Tournament, short form being anywhere the Nerds. Right now, we are in game number 1 between Eliminators on the blue side and Zohunt on the red. The map is looking like the hidden leaf.
Of course, this is why you got Kronos, like the banger intro that kicks things off into the grand finals. And of course, intercasting, as you can see on your screen as well, is of course Kronos just gave the intro, and myself, Ray and Fredo, we're gonna be taking you through the game, and let's see how it works out. So far though, the aggression from Art is already there. Like it's just gonna be an early game, few warning shots here, and they're just providing the information, Fredo.
Yep, definitely. He is, of course, one of those top roamers that everyone likes to talk about. And talk about roamers, right? Always Art, and of course, Kimi as well. Always there on top in the roaming list. Of course, not to forget the guy whose name starts with A, Apex as well out there. Of course, represented us internationally. But right now we're seeing... Oh!
Goes into his break right now. Mizo-san trying to flicker out of harm's way. Art gets caught out as well at the same time. Nice Jeet Kundo combo. That should be first blood quite easily in the hands of Serar Moon. Dusty Mizo can't really do anything. No electrifying beats means that he
Bro, do you got any cloud skin? Not yet, bro.
I'm getting taken down first. It's a, you know, first blood giving out to a jungler. It's a bad decision most of the time because of course it's Serar Moon. He got his hands into Lucas right now, one of the strongest junglers, because of course he benefits from this meta not being that too assassin oriented, while he still has a lot of maneuverism, the flash to flash combo, and dishing out the damage. But the turtle is gonna be copying up. Oh, what was that? Top lane though.
Meanwhile, Win is taken down low. He does have about 3 HP bars to survive, so he should be sitting there quite comfortable. But look at Dusty Mizo invading into the jungle, Fredo, and trying to starve out, of course, Serar Moon.
Definitely, he'll try to do that all the time. The amount of mobility that you get with the Joy just allows you to, you know, glide through the jungles like it's nothing. But right now it seems like bottom lane, something going on. But Turtle is also being taken here by Eliminators.
Turtle, but it's understandable. Their rumor is not in position, and the Simizo is all alone right now into the orange buff. He's not going to be able to get it. So few resources, micro resources being left out. Okay, no pick off.
Art went for the Jeet Kundo, and I think Dusty Mizo realized he cannot really do much. He has to sacrifice that orange buff. Now trying to go for the invade on the other side, trying to proxy, but Art makes his way. There's no backup just yet, and Mizo-san's not level 4, but it's either way. The Dragon committed already to go for the ejector. Dusty Mizo still not able to get that buff, and he is able to make it out alive, but Bit comes through with the IMU as well. Dusty Mizo at least picked something up for himself.
Few resources.
That should be...
Close one.
Good enough, I guess. Good enough from him, but now Fate.
Oh, see, Fate here drops down the Zaman Forest. Prime with the Spear of Misery zoning him out. Art makes his way. Mizo-san, he doesn't have the Unstoppable Force just yet. So trying to find the opening. Will they be able to do so? Art, 2 steps to the Jeet Kundo. He could go for the flicker play. He does now the Way of the Dragon. He actually commits on top of Fate, but Yuzaman forced to go for the backup. As you can see, he should close out, and Mizo-san misses the ejector.
1-0 still on the board. One turtle into favor of Team Eliminators, and you know, we have to focus on one thing on the XP lane though, but because it's Win. His name is Win for one reason, because we have to win his lane. But
Let's
right now,
see.
I'm not too sure with the Masha. I mean, he can thunderclap just like, you know, we discussed, but how good? It's not going to win out against the Badang because he can just retreat back easily, just, you know, tower hug if
Cái
there's
base
any
số kèm
trouble.
ý thì mấy tên thằng
the
mà
lane
đi mấy tên
dominance
nhà
is
đồ
not
môi
there.
mấy
So
tên gì
if
môi
Win is not able to win his lane, but I feel like it's in
Wait,
the turtle
không,
fights, it's
mấy
just
tên
gonna
không
be
rồi.
completely
Anh
one-sided
em
and
mày
just
ăn đi.
free objectives for the hands of Eliminators.
Yep, it looks the same way to me, Ray, because I mean the amount of zone control that a Badang can have, it's nothing compared to.
Diversion play right in that pixel bush, but at the same time, right now you can see they go for the way of the dragon. Dusty Mizo tries to make it out, but the Jikundo combo is there. Wind comes through. He's able to use the thunderclap, but looking for the target. But Mizo-san goes on top of it with the unstoppable force. And now the fight is dispersed. They're forcing Wind to flicker out as well. Eliminators tried to find something, didn't get anything out of it. A complete scam by Zohunt.
I love that word that you mentioned, Kronos. Complete scam. And so far, complete 0 on their hands. Still one kill on the board, but bottom lane though.
Oh, they
bottom.
on top of fate. That is the fate that he has to live with. Finally, Zohunt gets something on the board. It is a 1-1 indeed, but Eliminators have the goal lead in their hands.
Things looking pretty good here for, of course, Eliminators. But yeah, they did lose one in the process.
Oh, wait. Way of the Dragon committed quite early, but he has the Purify.
Lose one in the process.
Oh, wait. Way of the Dragon committed quite early, but he has the Purify. Prime makes it out. Dusty Mizo, electrifying beats, not really sure what he was thinking there, but preemptive use of it. And this is what I was talking about, guys. Zohunt have a nice early game, you know, damage potential, but now without the presence of the early game, you can see the Jawhead along with Faden on this Lu Yi not really doing much, and Dusty Mizo can only walk around taking the jungle creeps.
Exactly, you know, I really love that you mentioned the Jawhead pick, and it's clearly seen that even in execution, there's just nothing much you can do. But into the bottom lane though, Prime, better watch out.
They go, Way of the Dragon is committed already on top of Mizo-san, but you can see the nice diversion play come through as well. Zaman forces drop down, but Art gets caught out with the yin and yang dispersion combo, and he goes in, unleashes the beast. There comes the nine-tailed fox with the beast blast as well. Nobody home, as Mizo-san is the only casualty. Eliminators still have the advantage.
And they would like to keep it that way for now because, of course, Zohunt, they do have enough. Seems like top lane, something happening.
Win able to get that tower right. He's able to get the tower quite easily. And Bit actually has its own diversion as well. So the rotation can be made at any point, but they're not committed just before.
Exactly. The whole point of the match is going to be what's happening in the mid lane.
Baden traded only for Art. That is nice, as well as they get the mid lane tier 1. And now the diversion play on the bot side. They want to catch Prime off guard. Ferrarmo just misses him. Oh my goodness. Prime escapes with the skin of his teeth just like that. But still, Eliminators live to fight another day. They'll get their hands on the turtle also. Meanwhile, on the top side, Dusty Mizo trying to pick up some scraps in the top lane tier 2.
Nine-tailed fox gets another turtle soup for his team, but what's happening on the mid phase though?
Oh, fist break, fist guard combo coming through, and they take down Win. Unexpected, but here Dusty Mizo trying to make it out with the rhythm. And here comes Serrar Moon unleashing the nine-tailed fox. And you can see that he wants to get the invade as well. Flash the flash combo on towards Prime, and that is an easy kill. But here comes Dusty Mizo going on top of Bid, but Bid flickers out of harm's way. Meanwhile, Mizo-san and Art trying to fight for their lives. The Faden is ejected out of there as Bid pays the price for overextending. Dusty Mizo picks up a kill.
Things looking pretty solid here for Eliminators, of course. But yeah, they did get one down. That is going to be a bit, of course, on the Valentina. And that's going to be the only thing that they can pick up from that fight. But right now, Zohunt, they are definitely trying to put pressure across the map because they do have the Luo E and Moscow on their side. But
Mizo-san gets caught out. We have the dragon once more from Art. He has been on point with this Cho. Zaman forces drop down as well, but Mizo-san flickers out of harm's way. He has the conceal to run away, but the damage coming in from the Synchro Fission is too much as Fate is able to pick up that kill. But meanwhile, on the top side, look at the map, guys. Win as well as Dusty Mizo are using them as distractions, taking away that tier 2. So now the Holy Shield, if it gets popped, which it will, that is good news for Zohunt, even though they're not winning.
Was this their plan all along, just to play around the turret objectives? Because with how it's everything like situated, oh, what's that? Dusty Mizo better watch out again.
Yeah, you can see he goes in for the electrifying beats, but there's the thunderclap on towards Legend. He's able to get out, but the Zaman Force drops down, and SOD connects, and now will he make it out alive? Sarar Moon with Unleashing the Beast goes through as they trade 2 for 1. Win pays the price. Art and Legend are down, but here's the diversion play. They're trying to catch them off guard. He gets the yin and yang, the dispersion rotation combo, and finally gets Sarar Moon, and now looking to catch Fate as well. He's in no man's land as Dusty Mizo to be able to pick up the kill, but here comes the clapback with the Zaman Force drop down, but still they pay the price. Dusty Mizo 4-0-1 on this Joy. He is unstoppable, making it back, and now finally evening the gold score.
Goal score as well as the kill board, 8-8 just under 10 minutes. They responded back and got the Madara as well. I was expecting, honestly. I mean, of course, but I was not expecting them to come back soon. But look at the item spreader, look at Prime. He's basically done with the Trinity.
Yep, look at that. That is exactly what, Eliminators need to get that power spike in the goal lane. But meanwhile, if you look at the map control that they're exerting right now, Zohunt, and that diversion play from Faden was just so on point, and it seems like Eliminators, they totally forgot that they have Luoyi on their side. They have to be careful while retreating. But now, seems like Mizo-san has to retreat. Does not really decide to engage, which is the right thing to do. But now they're trying to create the pressure on the on the lanes, but they're not really able to do that right now. Lord marching down the top side, they are going to prepare for a good push, and yep, no Holy Shield, exactly. And that's why Eliminators, they'll be more focused towards the top side, and that can be used as a distraction for Zohunt to take down the bottom side.
Yeah, of course, Prime just got his Demon Hunter sword as well. I think that Lord is gonna go uncontested. Like, they're not gonna commit to it. They're gonna go for the tier 2 on the bottom lane, and perhaps the mid one as well. The Lord is just the bait, because they have been using themselves as bait as well to push the far lanes. But let's see if Eliminators want to commit to it, because right now they do have the resources. They have all the spells, 4 flickers, and all the ultimates available for them to crack down the bounce back that came in from Zohunt. But at the same time, Zohunt also has the resources. They have bounce back, they have equalized the goal. If not, they are the ones climbing above right now into the board. So I feel like if Eliminators want to commit, they better make it sure it's a good one. And of course, the Luoyi, I feel like the Valentina, just like, I had a few doubts about the Valentina, and I feel like I will be proven right if Bid is not able to make the play that their team needs right now, because Sarar Moon did his job so far. But right now, since it's gonna be shifting a little bit into later phases, he's gonna be falling off short, of course, against Prime.
Yeah, right now, Sarar Moon, he does have a lot of work cut out for him. He needs to frontline and provide the space for Bid as well as Fate to dish out the damage.
And on top of that, if you think about it right now, the fact that they don't really have too many structures, I mean, they have to be even more careful, I mean, diversions can be coming in from any direction. You might not be paying attention to just one bush.
Oh no, Art has been the target. They go for it after the ejector. He gets caught out. Zaman Force just to zone them away. This is the pick-off composition that they're trying to play. A diversion. Where's it going? In towards the bush on the bottom side. They catch Fate once more as they get him, and Sarar Moon unleashes the beast, but it's too little too late. And double kill in the hands of Prime, and Dusty Mizo goes to the back line. He's trying to catch Bid, but they get the tier 2 in the mid lane. Holy Shield not going to be present. It's way past 12 minutes right now. As you can see, Legend as well as Bid is the target. As Dusty wants to cap the back line. He catches 1 and 2. It's a wipeout, ladies and gentlemen. Art comes in, but he can only watch as Zohunt take the base crystal in game 1 of the Top Dog Grand Finals in this best of 7.
So far, they are right. And of course, I have to be biased. I give the prediction 4-2. And it's being proven, right? Victory for Zohunt, game number 1. Nice visuals there, and oh my god, it was an exciting one. I knew Zohunt were gonna bounce back, but I wasn't expecting it was gonna be a surprise one, and I feel like Eliminators were not prepared for it. Art got Thanos stepped like that. He could not respond.
Did I actually trigger Faden by saying that his main hero is
wardrobes to top the wardrobes?
Because he just pulled up with a what do you call it, a Louis, and like he diversed his way through, and I mean I cannot even say this guy. Look at that, the way his entire team relies on him to make those plays, because I mean, if not for him, doing those diversion plays, there was no way they could have dived in, considering the fact that, like Kronos mentioned, they are really, heavy frontliners. So it's not like you can reach the Harry too easily, even with the Jawhead. So that's just Faden for you.
Not just it was
Faden doing work, it's just the fact that every single time the Jawhead was present, he was there at the right place at the right time. That's what worked out for Zohunt, right? I think Eliminators just couldn't pick themselves up after letting go of the game in the bot side fight, and then in towards the purple buff, they tried an invade. Prime got his hands on the Moskov for a good reason. Why? It's a counter playing marksman, can 1v5, can split the map, and that's what they were doing. Zohunt knew that they needed to buy time for Prime to hit his item power spike, and that's what they did. And once he got there, Prime said, hey guys, I feel like I'm in a prime form right now, let's go. And all of a sudden, Eliminators just had Zohunt running circles around their head, especially Dusty on that jump.
Absolutely, and family problem. I feel like you doubted it, Jawhead, and I did too, because I'm gonna be honest. It is a good pick, but I feel like it was a little bit too early and it felt forced. Yeah, but okay, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, the Jawhead's not a great pick here still. Yes, you target down one single person, but you're playing for the pickoff. It's just the fact that they utilized the Louis diversion, and also just felt like Eliminators game throw away. That's what they did. It was their games. They had the pickoff. The Art was playing absolutely amazing on that show, applying the pressure in the early game. But Zohunt just, found the momentum, played it to their tempo, and Eliminators just couldn't bounce back.
Yeah, maybe they got thrown away by the Jawhead. It's a lame ass pun, but jokes aside. Thanks to Bolty. Of course, shout out to Bolty. He taught us this. So let's see if Zohunt is rising in game number 2 as well, because of course best of 7 series, ladies and gentlemen, not a BO5 just like in lower bracket finals. No, it's a best of 7. It's the grand finals, of course. It's gonna be an exciting one, and it's already looking to it because the draft it was pretty clear that Eliminators had the favor, right? But it's just that the game was going into favor until that last minute, just like you mentioned. But Fredo, do you think this time they're gonna be prioritizing the ban onto Louis, and who's gonna be left out? It's gonna be the one and only Fredren.
Every team that has played against Zohunt after the new patch drop has always targeted the Fredren. But and because they have targeted the Fredren, the Joy was always left open. And of course, the Fredren is a direct counter for the Joy. And the thing is, right now, it's like, if you ban the Fredren, he'll pick up the Joy. And if you ban the Joy, he'll pick up the Fredren. You might have to ban both at this point, because look at Dusty, the way he's playing the Joy. He's doing exactly what he likes to do. Go for those, buff steals, counter map. It's exactly like what King Kong does, right? He always like to take trades across the map. And that is exactly what, what Dusty has been doing with his Joy this entire time. So it's about time we start considering respecting what do you call it, Dusty Joy or something.
Dusty Joy, I like that name, but look at the itemization. Winter Crown was bought for it's a good one, but I still feel like he needed a little bit first. But I feel like the Trinity build was definitely the end for Eliminators, because once it came in, they just did not have any response. Other than that, I feel like the Purify definitely came in clutch, because I feel like a lot of times Prime was just not caught by Art at all. Kronos.
Yeah, Prime just didn't get caught up because he had the Purify. He did catch him once, right? That play was there on the bot side. It worked. But after that, I just don't know. It just felt like they weren't able to stop Dusty. Because yes, they had everything. Art was focusing down. He was breathing down the neck of Dusty, but just couldn't pick him off. And by the time they had to look at Dusty, who was splitting the map. Prime was already had his 3-item power spike, and then it just became a problem for Eliminators to deal with Zohunt. And it's a 10-minute, 11-second game. It's a short game, but just goes to show that a small change in tempo and either one of these teams can just swoop it away. Because Zohunt, by no means are they a weak team. They're one of the top teams from Mizoram, of course. They are looking to take the crown in this Northeast Underdog tournament. And at the same time, Eliminators want to keep their name and their fame as one of the top dogs overall in India. So it's looking dicey. They need to get the momentum.
You know, it actually went like under my nose or something. I thought Dusty was taken down once, Fredo, like 5-0-3. He was not caught even once? Not even once? That is insane.
The unkillable Joy King.
Unkillable Joy
Okay,
King.
that might be a little bit too much. But yeah.
Yeah, glazing too much. But yeah, I feel like rest items and everything, it was completely fine. And I really love the full damage Masha. I feel like it served its purpose. I feel like the whole job was to just push down the turrets, and we saw it. The top lane was just laid out naked, completely bare. Even though he got taken down like twice by Badang, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 2 kills on Badang, and it's 2 deaths for the Masha. I feel like there was one purpose, and it worked out really well. But gotta give it, of course, to Faden as well. Those diversions were there, and I feel like this is gonna be cementing a few bans in the next game, because just like we discussed right now, you need to ban out the Fredrin for Dusty to pay respect. But right now the Joy is looking like a threat, and so is the Lou. The first pace, like Chronos, like having the second pace right now, where Zushin is gonna be the threat as well, because you don't want to give it out to Faden. Which options are they gonna go for?
I mean, it's not Zushin, it's Juicin. That's how you say it.
I call her my
Zushin.
I call him my Zushin.
He don't even know his own
I know
delusional
him. I know
wifey's name. So
no, I know the proper Chinese pronunciation. I can use the like proper one. You want me to do that? You're gonna cringe.
Yeah, do it.
Go for it. Let's hear it.
No, the proper pronunciation is supposed to be like the Chinese, like the Mandarin.
It's
supposed to be Juicin, but of course,
Juicin.
Yeah, Juicin. Yeah, Juicin. Juicin.
The G is pronounced as a J. The Z is pronounced as a J, and the X is pronounced as a S or C. Like basically like juice, but juicing. That's how you say
juice
it.
in. Juice in. I'm gonna juice in. Definitely.
Well, you cannot. Hey, Ray, you should stop arguing with Kronos, man. He just casted, the Super Cup tonight. I mean, of course, later, before in the day.
Then, bro. And you putting the flame in here, man.
Yeah, but he has more exposure. He has more exposure to Chinese culture than you, so you should respect that.
You kidding me, bro? All I play is Chinese games. My phone is Chinese. My laptop is Chinese. My mic is Chinese. This blue screen is Chinese. My chair is Chinese. My eyes are Chinese. Everything is Chinese here. But of course, jokes aside though, Zohunt and Eliminators game number 2. Let's see how it works out. Because Zohunt this time, first pick. Let's see how it works out. Because of course, Eliminators, they saw the threat of Joy. They saw the threat of Lu Wei. What are they gonna go with?
That gives a lot of information away from Zohunt. Regardless of them being on the blue side or the red side, they always ban out Matilda. So that is a free ban for Eliminators right now. So they definitely have to take out the Juicin, they have to take out the Kalea, and maybe even a Badang, since it was a problem, but I don't think it should be. Yeah, the Juicin's gonna be banned out, the Kalea, probably the Hylos, while on the other side you can see Matilda, maybe the Fovius and Gatot Kacha, I guess.
If I think about it, I feel like right now, see, man, this guy, Dusty has been on a 100% win rate, at least, from the semi-finals till now, with the Joy.
This guy
has not lost a single game when he's played Joy, so. And he has played like 5 or 6 games if you think about it, so it's about time that people start banning the Joy when they're facing Dusty, because this guy, he has been getting away with it every single time. Eliminators have to crack down on him with that ban, otherwise I don't see a way that, they're not getting jungle gapped once again.
I don't think it was the Joy as much. I don't think it was the Joy as much as you think it is, to be honest. The Joy can still be countered. The Art played a really good show. It's just I think they just lost momentum. They just weren't in the right position. So they can put Zohunt on the Joy again, probably go for the Hayabusa themselves, and that's another straight counter.
Yeah, of course. It's actually a signature pick for Sarar Moon. I understand they wanted to commit with the Lucas, of course, because it was open and it did work out really wonders. But I think it's high time they can also commit to the Hayabusa, just like you mentioned. And it's pretty funny. Like right now, the meta has shifted to the tankiness, and Dusty is like, "Yo, I'm gonna pull up with the assassin instead," and somewhat the expectations. And so far, it's working out well. But just like you mentioned, I feel like this time around, the Joy might just be left out open. Oh, okay, Phoveus ban out, so that just leaves only one ban into the hands of Eliminators. Do they want to keep Kalia open? Because I feel like Kalia is just a really perfect pick for Mizo-san, because he loves to go for the pickoffs, and also it's gonna give a little bit sustain for if Dusty wants to go in for a tank.
Yep, definitely. Dusty can go for that kind of, a tanky jungler as well, because he usually likes to play them. One thing though is, I've not really seen too many people playing the alpha anymore. So what are your thoughts on that?
Nothing wrong with it. Kronos, what do you think? I feel like he's not nerfed, right? He's not adjusted at all, so what's the reason?
I mean, the alpha, it's not like he's bad.
Yeah.
It's just teams are learned how to counter that. Teams are learned how to counter that alpha.
Yeah.
So if it's a last option, then I would say yes, definitely go for an alpha.
Agreed.
But if
Yeah.
there's something that you can play better, like the Hayabusa, the Joy, the Lucas in the jungle, then of course you have I mean the Hayabusa, Fanny. These are definitely top tier junglers. Julian, kind of, if you really like him, but I would say alpha is slightly better. But here the Kalea, the Phoveus, the Gusion taken out, the Lucas, the Gatot Kacha on the other side, which leaves open the Badang once again. Badang is quite a contested pick. Seems like both these teams really like that hero.
Yeah, 60% win rate throughout the Swiss stages too right now, and it's been banned out around 10 times as well, so makes sense. Like, I do understand before 23rd April, but even right now after the nerfs, it still feels like a contested pick. But I'm actually waiting. Is Zohunt saying to Eliminators like, go ahead, we're not gonna pick up the who. Fredrin is open, but they have not committed. Usually Zohunt is like, yo, let's pick it up. Okay, Art is committing to again pick off instead of a set tank. What do you have to say for that, Fredo?
I don't know. Maybe that's what Eliminators, had in mind when they came into this game tonight, came into this series. Probably they wanted to let, Art play the pickoffs. That's one of the reasons why they decided to go for this. Because see, like Kronos already mentioned, when you have heavy frontliners, like of course the Badang who can immune whatever you throw at him, the Joy does not really work. So it's like
it did last game. Maybe
yeah,
they're like
probably,
maybe it will.
Probably. I mean, but right now though, I just hope Eliminators don't go for the Sicilian, because I can smell Bid's mind in some way, because I've seen him play a lot of times and he likes to pull off the Sicilian in situations like these. But I just hope it does not happen.
I think it's gonna be a Hylos Sicilian, because it would have been good if Eliminators picked up the Hylos themselves along with the Herod. You're okay by forcing them on the other side, but they go for the comfort pick in Moskov because they're gonna get banned out in the second phase, which is also good.
Yep.
But a Hylos has got to come through. You can't let it go.
I agree on that as well. I feel like, but right now I feel like Zohan can also commit with. I mean, I'm waiting to see the Fredrin. Okay, I'm waiting because like this guy's Fredrin is a different level, of course. But okay, they commit to the Suyo. Okay, they commit to the Suyo. I understand, but the recent nerf into magic damage reduction, I am not really sure about it. Don't worry, the picture is gonna be there. But of course, we're gonna be moving to a second phase of the bans. So until we figure out what's the jungler, Suyo. What do you think, Fredo? You like it? You like it, Kronos?
I like the Suyo. It's being picked up. That's nice. Unless if that second pick over there is a Joy. If that's a Joy, no, it's not a Joy. So the Joy is banned out. That means Suyo is probably the best jungle pick over here. And you take away the Joy. The Sicilian's banned out, so that wasn't a Sicilian as well. And here's definitely got to be another jungle ban, maybe the Alpha, just to be kind of safe. But yeah, I like the Suyo. You have fast jungle clear, level 3 power spike. You can get the retributions on point with the Soul Sever. So you're basically able to just one-tap the entire neutral objectives. They take away the Fredrin, so definitely that was something that's not in the jungle. Probably an EXP laner.
Is it a Louis or maybe an EXP? No, but you know, I'm really curious to see Legends pick this time around. He doesn't have the Badang. He likes to play around the playmaker kind of an EXP lane, right, to set it up for his team, especially right now considering that Art is going for the pick again. So I'm really curious. Like, what is Legend gonna go for? Because if this is not Mizo-san, Win going into the EXP lane with the Badang again. Okay, there we go. Just like you mentioned, the Hylos comes in. So that's an EXP lane Hylos.
Yeah.
But now they have a CC open.
CC?
I don't think they're gonna pick up a CC. No way. They gotta. I think that that pick, if that was a mid laner, yeah, that's definitely.
I feel like it's a mid laner.
Probably,
Yeah.
Probably a Valentina or probably Eve. That's what I'm thinking.
I feel like Valentina. I feel like Faden is right now commit to his India #1 super friends Valentina, and I feel like that's why. I feel like that's why.
If you think about it, if you think about it, Ray, if you think about it, then right now if you're taking the Valentina,
okay, there we go.
What are you going to pick up except the Glorious Pathway? Oh, look at that! Oh my God! Thank God! Thank God! Thank God for you know, giving me that right prediction thing. But of course, we'll figure it out. Of course, when we enter the match, of course, this might be a system glitch. But yeah, right now, last pick from Eliminators. Last pick from Eliminators going to be a mage. Okay, switched up, and okay, now we're seeing it.
All right.
It was a Lu Yi.
They committed to diversion again. But knowing pretty well that Eliminators are this time around, I feel like they will be more aware, right? I feel like last time, once the team fight was lost out, I feel like they were kind of in a position where they were not really aware of the map. Because when you're facing against a Luo, you need to be wary of the bushes, especially the ones that are most likely. Okay, they commit to the Valair, the one that's been buffed recently. I've been playing him and I really like him. What do you think, Ro? Solid pick?
I like the Valier. It's a decent pick. It's not the best. It's not a solid pick by any means, but you have early game presence. Definitely in the EXP side, Eliminators are gonna look to dominate that one, and it comes down to Legend to not get too poked out by, of course, the CC on the other side. So if he gets poked out a lot, the Hylos is gonna have a tough time. So if Art, along with you know, if they have the Hylos, they have the Jawhead, they have the Valier, as well as the Suyo invading into one side of the jungle, yeah, the Zohunt are definitely need a kill on that Harriet, otherwise they're not gonna make it out alive, especially in the early game. Again, early game, those Zohunt still have the upper hand. They have a good laning phase for both Moskov as well as the CC. You have good mid lane control, nice burst damage coming through, and once he gets a couple of kills, this alpha is gonna be dangerous.
I love that we like manifested the alpha, Fredo. Like made Dusty pick it up. Is he watching the stream? I feel like he's always watching the stream in the background, you know. Like obviously the stream is delayed, no issues about it, but I feel like he's listening. Because remember last time we talked about Kaja, he picked up Kaja. Last time we talked about what? it was a pick. I feel like he's always listening.
Yep. I also feel like, you know, he does, you know, understands and you know, takes the feedback, you know, basically. And that's the reason why Zohunt, of course, they do really good. But now, though, let's see how this lineup works out for them. Of course, two picks similar to the previous game. Of course, the macro players here, Luo and Moskov, and seems like they're going to stick with it.
There we
go. They are going to stick with it indeed, because here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are in game number 2. In this best of 7, first game in the hands of Zohunt, and will the other side Eliminators clap back? Because you are watching, of course, the Northeast Underdog Tournaments. The nerds, nerd in the chat, please, ladies and gentlemen, because we have game number 2 indeed. Blue side gonna be Zohunt, and on the red gonna be Eliminators.
And to nerd out onto the casting desk is, of course, me, myself, Ray, and Fredo, and of course, Corza in the back end to bring you the highlights and the hype of those team fights. But let's see how it works out. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is Grand Finals, game number 2. Zohunt has 1 match point closer to that 4-pointers. But let's see if Eliminators bounces back immediately into this game number 2. This time, there's no Naruto, but there's Sasuke, the Japanese one, of course. And, oh, Legend already, of course, not going to be winning out that lane against the CC, but look at that.
Nice damage coming through, and Legend forced to use the Revitalize as well. This is what I was talking. Zohunt need to get the upper hand on that side, because if they do, then they'll be able to buy some time for themselves. However, Art here stole away that one jungle creep from the side of Dusty Mizo as well.
No kill so far, no first blood either. But no, like I feel like both of the teams are not bloodthirsty until that 6-minute mark, and I feel like they wait for their, of course, the item spike. But Fredo, what?
Oh, ejector. Art just missed that one. That could have been an easy kill, especially knowing that Prime doesn't have a Purify.
Exactly. Without a Purify, he can definitely get caught. So yeah, he has to be really careful as well, you know. But on the other side, finally, I think Dusty is able to get one creep, but still not able to get that level 4. So maybe he has to wait a few more minutes. But yeah, that was some good stuff from Art, you know, taking away that jungle.
Yeah, you can see right now he's there. Ejector comes into play, not throwing anybody just yet. Serar Moon has the Evil Queller, dishing out some damage. Turtle should be up in about 3 seconds, and they are looking to hack at it one at a time. Mizo-san not level 4 just yet. Dusty Mizo as well at the same, getting their power spikes, and now you can see the ejector come to the play. Mizo-san tries to get out of harm's way, flickers out, but the retribution in the hands of Dusty. He gets the neutral objective. Feels like Serar Moon is kicking himself right now.
Absolutely. I was not expecting it. I mean, Dusty Mizo does have, funny enough, he does have a higher retribution rate in this tournament so far, but especially when he's playing the tanky junglers like the Fredren. And right now he's picked up the alpha. Yeah, he's slight tanky, but he's a fighter. So it was a surprise, especially considering Serar Moon on that Suyo. He basically has a auto retribution win with that, of course, the second skill. But I feel like, don't know why he did not commit to it, like didn't get it. But okay, still gotta give credit to Dusty Mizo.
Yep. But yeah, of course, you know, the ejector was already used up, so that's like Dusty Mizo's opening to, you know, try and hit that retribution. And of course, if there is no disturbance, he can definitely land those retributions right. Of course, considering the goal lane now though. Oh, EXP lane.
Hold on, comes through. They baited out Legend, right? He has the Revitalize, even pops the Glorious Path to try and survive, but he's able to do so against 3 of the opposition. Zohunt find the opportunity, win with that curtain call as well. And now you can see the bottom lane. They're forcing Prime out of harm's end. You can see Flicker comes out as well. Prime, is he gonna survive? Serar Moon finally finds the finishing blow. First blood in the hands of Eliminators.
Evil Queller, right on point. And first blood, they get the kill again. One of the crucial members. Previous game they took down. Oh no, it was Romer, but right now they took down the goal laner. And this time around, they're actually the ones leaving the turret space, because look at that, they push down the bottom lane, forcing, of course, Prime to play a little bit more passive, because right now he's forced into the tier 2. But great response from Zohunt, immediately catching the top tier 1 as well. But oh, the turtle fight, it's gonna be spicy because they're all gathering together.
Legend.
Oh yeah, you can see right now, Glorious Path did not get through, but the Zaman Force order dropped down, and finally they get the slow. Mizo-san is the first target, and now they're looking at Win. He gets taken down as well. That's a double in the hands of Fate. A late game Harith already got his first item within 4 minutes 30 seconds, so that's gonna be danger for the side of Zohunt.
Yeah, you pointed it out right there. Harith is going to be a problem right now, so of course you can get structures across the map, but when it comes to team fights, your frontliners are going to get melted quite easily. And of course you have a Badang and a CC. Badang in the roam, not the best, of course, because he cannot really get those items. He needs those items to get those cooldowns and get that sustain. So that won't be happening. Your frontliners are going to get melted by this Harith. They need to do something about the Harith soon, because otherwise it might be, of course, getting out of control for them. If it, of course, gets that Holy Crystal as well.
Oh, unstoppable force right on top of Win. You can see the Zaman Force drop down as well. They go for the ejector. Win trying to survive, and he gets taken down. Nice pick-off coming through from Art. This is what we saw from him in the early game. In game number 1, we're seeing the same come out in game number 2 as well.
Absolutely, Kronos. And, you know, I feel like Alpha, despite, of course, that... Oh, bottom lane committed.
Oh, Serar Moon, I'm not sure if he's in the right spot. He gets taken down again. It's a mistake made from Eliminators. They're doing this one more time. They have the advantage, and they're throwing it away.
They gotta be aware of it, but they do take down mid here, which is gonna be really good for those invasions. Of course, mainly zoning out not just Alpha but Badang as well. Just like we discussed the Badang roam. he does have the dash to make sure that the fireball doesn't
Cho
affect him
là
that much, but how much it's gonna be questioned. But just like you know, the bottom lane they take a kill. Finally, 0-4 is no longer on the board. It's 1-4 and goal lead still into the hands of Eliminators. So I feel like they can commit to it a little bit more. But turtle fight is there, so turtle soup is of course needed.
Definitely needed here, and of course that's why they're preparing for it. Eliminators will definitely not like to take anything away, but oh,
Art right now scouting out the bushes. Win is there with that yo-yo blitz to poke him down, but the regen making sure he's back up. They have their sights on the turtle. Should be quite easy for them to pick up, but look at Legend again. He gets caught out. Glorious pathways there, but on towards the wrong side as the rest of Zohunt will have to disperse. The Eliminators coming through with the cavalry, trying to target down someone, and that's Prime. He's got off position. They're trying to sandwich him, but Art going for the other target, and that's Win. They get the ejectors. The Unforced drop down as they get the kill. Faden made the diversion towards the wrong side, and now that is paying the price. Eliminators doing well, finding the opportunity and changing the momentum.
They got the angle that they needed, and right now they like that was slight missing on the bottom, but of course they have remedied it completely, getting the lead that they needed. Right now 3,000 gold lead that of course deficit as well. Oh, do they want to commit to it? Nah. Do they? Nah.
they probably won't because they do not have the minions right now. So yeah, they'll be backing off. But talking about the goal lead that they have and the map control as well, this is exactly what they needed in the last game, even with, you know, what they had. But right now, looking at the items, Harriet building on to the Holy Crystal, and once he gets stabbed, there is no stopping this guy because he is almost, you know, almost 1.2k clear.
Whoa.
Win.
The force drop down. Win is the target, gets taken down, and here Prime should be next on the chopping block as they go for it, but he's able to get out of harm's way. The damage coming through, fist break, fist crack combo, buys enough time, and Prime escapes with the slightest bit of HP. All the Eliminators don't lose a single life.
That was a close one.
My goodness.
That was a close one, but Prime is still very behind. Fate is building towards the Holy Crystal. Yep, it's an expensive item, but as soon as he gets the recipe, that magic spike is gonna be helping him dish out more damage with the Starlim Sight's passive. On the other hand, though, he Moskov doesn't even have the one more recipe item for the. I think he got it right now, but yeah, he's quite behind on that golden staff. Until he gets that golden staff, he's not gonna get that attack speed, and of course, he also needs that Demon Hunter sword to melt down Legend as fast as possible.
Hello, Juice, MLBB. Welcome to my stream, bro.
Also bid with the fireballs that is dishing out so much HP-based damage. He doesn't have the Purify either this time around. It's catching him off guard a lot of the moments in those team fights.
And with that, the turret might go down in the bottom side for Eliminators. And with that,
how are you?
now,
I will say I'm fine, bro.
Not
I don't know what to say,
Legend
man.
Takes a lot of damage. Glorious path to slow them down, but this is a fight that they can take. Prime is around. You can see they go on top of Win. Prime is there as well, but Bid catches them off guard. The Searing Torrent coming into play. Prime though doesn't have the flicker, but you can see Win with that Vengeance able to survive. SOD connected. Bid flickers out of harm's way. Nice Searing Torrent once more to try and buy some time. Art comes through, but here's the Unstoppable Force looking at Prime, and here is Sarah Armoon. He is looking for the kill. He finds a double. Now they chase down Dusty and Mizo-san, who conceal their way out as the Lord is marching down the mid lane.
The Madara is marching down the mid lane. What's they called? I'm not really sure, but they have the Holy Blessing, so it's gonna get, you know, dealt with pretty easy. Look at that, no issues. But they are losing Prime. Prime did, you know, commit to it, got the kill. But still, I want to see the itemization. I feel like, did he get... Oh, Holy Crystal for Fate. So much damage. Oh, he finally did get his hands into the staff. Getting the kill really help. But he's still building up towards the Demon Hunter Sword. But Fate is building, like... I feel like that burst is going to be... They are not going to be prepared until Prime gets his hands into the Rose Gold.
And look at that, Legend picks up the Radiant Armor as well. So, yeah, Louis not going to be able to dish enough damage right now. But yeah, they're preparing for the next one. Of course, they do not want to, you know, over-commit right now. They do want to maintain the position that they have. They have choked away Zohunt inside their bases, and they cannot do anything about it because they do not have enough farms, do not have structures across the map. Yep, and the only way they can play around right now is to get that information, but they don't have that as well. So, yep.
And skill play?
Zohunt.
No, they did not.
Choke hold right now.
They're trying to find the opening. Eliminators, we're trying to force the occasion. I'm glad they didn't commit, because if that was a commit, it would have been disastrous for them. The goal lead is only 5k. Not enough for them to get that victory, because Prime is looking like he's going to get his Demon Hunter sword just soon.
Absolutely. And also yeah, he does need a rose gold, but looking at how well he was able to position himself into that previous team fight, he gets the Demon Hunter sword. Right now, the damage is gonna be on point. I would love to see the rose gold being rushed as soon as possible, because I feel like once he has the rose gold, he'll be able to maneuver around Bit's damage, as well as, of course, not get bursted out by Fate, who has the Holy Crystal and building toward possibly perhaps some penetration, or maybe the Blood Wings for a little bit more shield. 402 onto the scoreboard. So I feel like Fate is definitely their main target. They are trying to take him down, but they can't find the angle just yet. They need to deal with the frontliners, at least perhaps bait them out, especially, of course, Art and Legend.
Art and Legend, right? They are very important, because of course there are front lines that you have to go through if you want to reach the back lines and reach Fate to find that angle. But right now, again, another easy Lord, and there's nothing that Zohunt can do about it, because with the frontliners that you have in your, in your drop right now, look at that, CC and Badang can't really do much in front of a Hylos who is backed by a Valir. And if you guys remember, Hylos Valir was a deadly combo back in, like, I don't know, 2 years back, 3 years back.
Yeah, I remember spamming it. I remember spamming it a lot in rank. I hit like, what, 25 win streak just because of how broken Valir was, because he just got revamped. But yeah, that's a topic for later. And MABAR is going to be marching down from the mid lane. No holy blessing, so Zohunt better be prepared for it. Eliminators has all the spells, has all the resources. They need to commit right now, Kronos.
Yeah, you can see the Madara marching down the mid lane, actually takes away the inhibitor as well. Bit finally gets his hands on the Ice Queen wand, and right now the Glorious Pathway is there. And our target's down Prime with the Unstoppable Force, but meanwhile Serarmoon trying to go in. The Mon Forcer drop down as well. They're trying to shut the damage. SOD connects. Prime is there. He finds 1 and 2. He's looking for the third, and he gets it. And
oh my God.
Down and out for the Sonic Eliminators. They go for the diversion play, looking for Serarmoon, as the base was just hanging by a thread. Serarmoon makes it out by the skin of his teeth, and Zohunt do not want to go down without a fight.
That was absolutely perfect. It went perfect for the hands of Zohunt, but of course Eliminators right now, that base was hectic, like one more slash for Madara and it was gone. But great zoning out coming in from not just Mezuzan, like the whole of Zohunt. We gotta give credit to all of them, but of course Prime coming online with that Trinity build was definitely showing that the bounce back was gonna come online any second. I feel like it's brewing right now. Okay, look at the itemization, Fredo.
Well, okay, I take a look at the itemizations. Nothing unusual, but think about the towers that they were able to take down with just one fight. Like, look at that. It's all cleared up. It's almost even right now, except the fact that the mid lane inhibitor is down on the side of Zohunt. So these people, they know how to take that mistake, and if you make one mistake, they can turn things around. So both the sides have to be really careful.
Oh, conceal play comes through, and the target down win, but that's the wrong target. Prime's not seen to get Glorious Pathways used already. The Mon Force comes out, and they're trying to take them down. Even with the dispersion rotation combo, not enough, as the only one to fall down is Dusty Mizo.
I feel like Prime was hesitant, and I feel like that was a good reason. I feel like he was trying to calculate, like, do I commit or not? And he realized this is a kind of a losing team fight. And I feel like the reason they won out on the previous fight, and I feel like Kronos pointed out perfectly, it was the whole reason that Art committed a little bit too deep and heavily into the base. And because he was so deep in, he could not come out easily. Art got taken down. It was a 5v4, and they were able to win out with the numbers advantage. And of course, the SOD connecting into the back end. But oh, look at the diversion. It's cooking up something. Lords and coming in 3 seconds. Do they go from behind?
I mean, already used up. Already used up the diversion, so they can't really do that anymore. So maybe another free Lord into the hands of ET, and with that, 3 Lords taken down. Still did not end it. But this time they won.
Art, oh my goodness, Unstoppable Force with Ejector not used just yet, and that's what we were talking about in the draft phase. Mizo-san has the fist cracked to make sure they don't catch him. They try to create the space, but here comes the Searing Torrent, and Serarmoon leading the charge for Eliminators, has his mates to back him up. And now Zohunt give away a free Lord off of a busted diversion. Will Eliminators be able to end this one right now?
Kronos and of course Fredo. I feel like Zohunt was a little disoriented. I feel like they wanted to commit. That's the whole reason they went in with the diversion. But at the end, they were like, it's a little bit too late, and decided to come back and just took a lot of hits. They did waste out a few spells though, especially Faden. He doesn't have the flicker anymore. It's an expensive one considering there's a MABAR marching down from mid lane.
Yep, and that's why it's going to be interesting to see if they can defend this one.
Yeah, you can see Glorious Path already popped down. It's the first one to fall. Zaman Force already used, and they find a double curtain call with the Yo-Yo Blitz, and Mizo-san's the only one that tries triple kill in his hands. And Dusty Mizo finds another, and Sorormo can't escape. He botched that one, and now with the only one standing, they find it. Wipe out Eliminators once more, throwing the game away with Prime, Faden, as well as Dusty marching down. The minions are not standing strong, but they might be able to end. 17 seconds till one comes back alive. Is this enough time?
Oh my god, how does Zohunt keep doing this? They're taking down the damage. Is it gonna be there? 1 minute? 1 minute? What? Oh my god! Zohunt, how do they keep bouncing back harder than a basketball, football? I don't know. They are doing the impossible. This game was into the hands of it more than previous one. Victory for Zohunt again. Game number 2. How do they do it? How does that happen? Oh my god.
Well, that's you know what time they say this time is on news channels. They call it prime time, and right now prime time is happening. It's prime time on War Drums right now.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
Prime time. It's prime time indeed. The way that he was playing, again, it's the same story. Eliminators had the early. Mid-game, Zohunt bounced back. But Eliminators this time, they were toughened up. They were ready to face what Zohunt had. And then all of a sudden, they throw in the late game. How did CC get a double kill? Actually a triple, was it not?
Yep,
triple kill in the Lord push. It just goes to show that their communication in the final push is definitely lacking, because they didn't have a single target. Art went on towards the wrong target. Prime didn't even have a Purify. I don't know why he changed it later on. Like, why did Art change the target later on?
Exactly, Kronos. That was definitely, I wanted to raise it in the game, but of course the hype moments made it for mid. This time around, Art, of course, he could have commit every time to just Prime. No purifies, right? Previous game there was a purify you cannot commit, but this time around he could have. And I love that your point. Like, I feel like communication is definitely lacking, because we've seen it like twice right now onto those end fights when of course the game is like nigh. I feel like Eliminators are lacking their coordination. They need to target one guy at a time, and of course try to chunk down. I mean, Zohunt is doing basically what they needed to do in this end moments, but they were not able to do so. Zohunt was able to execute it perfectly.
So let me remember. Yeah, bro.
Like,
what the fuck was a comeback, bro?
They pushed it.
Throw the main
I think Louis
and
and Moscow both got executed. Both got executed too.
What can we say? What can we say? Of course, cooking, cooked, whatever, whatever. A lot of stuff happened. And nothing went in the way of Eliminators. I mean, the communication gap is insane. I mean, I saw the Valir marking the base. Okay. Yeah. I saw the Valir marking the base. Meanwhile, the Harriet was dishing out the damage. So someone, I mean, it should at least be someone who can actually, push the towers, who should be marking the base, but they're letting Valir do the job, and that just explains the communication gap which is going on in Eliminators right now, because you don't want the Valir to be marking the base. And yeah, that's it. That's what it is. That's what it is right now for Eliminators. They have to improve the communication. Basically, like, people call it, in football they say it last third, and right now it's going to be, in the case of ML, is going to be the last push. So in the last push, you have to be you have to make the communication crystal clear. Like, if you're approaching this target, we go all in on this target. We burst him down, and during that process, while they're trying to defend themselves, you push down the base. One guy has to do that, while the other enemies are busy taking down the Lord. So.
Bro,
Exactly, that's what Kono said. There was communication gap, and that's the reason why they were not able to end the base. Like 3 Lords back to back. I mean, I've not seen Eliminators take 3 Lords back to back and, they're not able to end the game. They usually do, but against Zohunt, they can't do that, and I don't know what's wrong. I don't have anything to say about it.
What's wrong or what's right? Zofate is rising
Mamang si
again,
Zangirin
2-4-0, and of course, it's gonna be an interesting one if funny enough, if
Mamang
Gold
si Zangirin ki
we
mijotin made.
need to apologize to him, okay? We gotta be on our knees and we apologize to him. But jokes aside, there's the result skin, game number 2. 50,000 gold on both ends, 17 minutes almost. 3 Lords for the hands of Eliminators. That is an insane one. But
Oh my god.
oh my god, I just realized the Vengeance took down the Valir. It was the Vengeance who took down the Valir because Valir was out of the range. I was confused. But it was the Vengeance.
Okay. Now that makes it clear. Like, you keep burning, you keep keep getting the damage as well, right? So yeah. It makes sense now. But yeah, even with this front line that they had, right? They had the CC and the Badang. They were still able to make it work somehow. And I mean, the targeting was just so wrong from Eliminators.
Was that a Queen's Wings? A Queen's Wings on the hands of Aiden. Is this why he survived? Like, yeah, that's the first time I'm seeing a Queen's Wings on a Hui. Like, where did he learn that from?
It's not like it doesn't work. It gives you the extra bit of spell vamp that you need, and Louis likes to spam the spells, so it works out, and it gives you a little bit of extra tankiness below half HP, if I'm not wrong. So
And the skill cooldowns as well, right? And he needs that.
yes, skill cooldowns, but he already maxed it out. Oh yeah, he did max it out with the Queen's Wing, so it does work out in their favor. Although personally, a lot of players in here like to pick the Oracle just to get that extra bit of lifesteal as well, but there is no Ice Queen wand purchased, so or neither concentrated energy, so the Queen's Wings makes sense here. I mean, not something that we see quite often, but it's not like it doesn't make sense.
Well, I'm gonna test it out too because I've been playing a lot of mid lane lately.
No.
Thanks, Aiden.
Don't do that. Don't try what you see at home, guys, because next thing you know, you're gonna be cussed out in your DMs. People are gonna call you names. They're gonna call you things, and they're gonna make reels and memes out of you. So,
first-hand experience,
don't try that at home.
Do you have first-hand experience?
I have a lot of memes made about me already. It's all right, but I'm probably gonna see a lot more come out after this tournament as well. But definitely the Northeast Underdog Tournament. You know what? I want to ask you guys, why do we take the first 2 letters from the first half and then the R from the under and then D from dogs? Because just a question. I just want to throw it out there. I'll be honest. I love nerd. I am a nerd myself, right? I love being a nerd. That's a big thing.
Well,
I was a nerd before being nerd was popular. So yeah.
I mean, see, if you NEUD, all right. It does not sound good at all. So NEUD, NEUD. So yeah, that's why we just went with the R, and now if you are able to pronounce it, it sounds like an acronym. Nerd as well. It's a word actually in itself. So that's like one of the reasons why we decided to go for it. And with that, third game this time. I don't know what Eliminators have right now because they have to do everything, and if we see a Sicilian, we should not be surprised, But he likes to take that.
I just love that Kronos asked the question and Fredo went full on like actually like full on.
Okay,
I love that.
Okay, Karen.
Okay.
Stuff,
But yeah,
it's definitely. I think I like the Sicilian pick that you're saying that can come through from bid, but here of course Eliminators are respecting that Moskov. You have a Moskov, you have a win. That's 2 Moskovs, 2 wins, and now they take out the Moskov. They take away the Phoveus, the Matilda. It's a clear thing that Zohunt's gonna ban it regardless being on the blue or the red side. So Eliminators should take advantage of it. I just think Eliminators are kind of shaken right now. Just because they lost 2 games that they were winning,
exactly.
And now that will definitely tank their confidence.
I agree with you. I feel like even if you just consider the first game, maybe it was a bluff, maybe it was slight blunder. The second game is absolutely, like, I agree with you so wholeheartedly. their confidence is definitely shaken. This Moscow ban is of course showing that, and they cannot give it to Zohunt anymore. But maybe this time around Zohunt can pull up with even more cards, because I feel like Dusty Mizo is still holding back. Like, come on, bro, where is your Fredrin? Like, come on, are you saving it for a game number 4? But yeah, jokes aside though, Kalia banned out, so few options still open for Eliminators. They can commit to. I feel like the chip is open. I feel like Art can commit to it, but is it too early?
Committing to the chip, I think it's early. Hey, look at that. They pull up a hero that, of course, like, that's a way you should approach the draft. Pick up a flex pick in the first one so that you do not really, show out your plan. So I guess Eliminators are taking that, textbook move right now. But of course, Zohunt are people who do not like to play by the textbook, because these people, you saw, right? I mean, Queen's Wing on a Louis. I mean, who can even think of that? Of course, Fade and the guy who carries the team on his backbones, and yeah, on his back, sorry, not backbone, yeah.
But again,
okay, finally we're seeing this nerfed hero being picked.
Nah, you know, I find it so funny. I find it so funny. Like, we know, Debbie, shout out to you. Like, she said, like, your hero is cooked when Fade and Fade is not picking it up anymore. But he picked it up again, like, after a long while after that nerf, and the Hayabusa as well. So, Kronos, what do you have to say? Like, 2 signature picks from the hands of Eliminators.
It's not just a signature pick. Eliminators are drafted really well. It's 3 games in a row they're drafted really well. They have better win conditions than Zohunt. It's just Zohunt, I don't want to say they got lucky. They definitely showed that they can do it once, not once, but twice. So they're playing off of the mistakes of Eliminators. The Eliminators have the idea. They just the execution is there. Just the finish just not there. Like Fredo mentioned as well, right? The final third is what they're not able to get. When it comes to the last quarter, when the money's on the line, they're just slip up. So I hope that they doesn't happen, because even now the Hayabusa is a really good pick. Because whatever marksman comes out, it's gotta be the Iritel, because it's gonna get banned out in the second phase to give a problem to the Granger. So the Hayabusa straight counter to the Iritel, it counters the Joy. Yes, you're gonna have a slight bit of a tough time against the Badang, but again, you can always immune yourself out, unless you're Kid Bamba on the Badang. That's just a different story. But the Granger here has a lot of damage. Yes, his dash has been nerfed out quite a bit, but the damage is still pretty much the same.
Yep.
So with the Gatot being picked up as well, it's a lot of AoE control. Chip being banned out, the CC being taken off the table as well. So that means they are looking to pick up a Hylos Zohunt. It could be in the EXP lane, it could be in the roam position, but if they don't pick it up, I think Eliminators definitely like that that Hylos and Gatot Kacha combo. They respect that Louis finally. And now looking at another, maybe Sicilian.
It's pretty possible. I feel like the pickoff is gonna be I feel like this CC is more of like a bait ban from Zohunt, because I've seen them do this against IGN as well as DNS and another squad. I forgot the name, but okay, a Hilda ban. I was not expecting it, but I feel like okay, never mind. They're just gonna commit to the high loss anyways. Maybe it was just to throw me off instead. But the Hilda ban, is it a wasted?
Jawhead coming through.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I also smell the Jawhead, and I smell the Sicilian. But against the Jaw, you don't want to go for Sicilian. And on top of that, Badang. Like right now, I mean, I feel bit. I feel bit. Okay, that's the reason why I'm saying Sicilian, because this guy, I know, whenever he feels like, okay, everyone's gonna question me right now, so I pick up the hero that always, works out for me. But right now, I don't expect that from him, because in this draft, it won't work at all. There's no way he can make a Sicilian work here. But what else can work?
Sicilian works, Fredo. I agree to disagree over there. Sicilian is a really good pick. It's got to be a Jawhead and a Sicilian. Yeah, because it does definitely. You're able to sustain with the Bat's Feast against the Joy. You can build the Winter Crown. You have enough range to outpoke the Iritel. You can still melt down. You have a late game secured. You pair it up with the Granger, so that's a lot of poke, a lot of range. Gatot Kacha has the frontliner, pick-off ability coming through. Really good draft once again from Eliminators. Yes, Zohunt throwing that Selena. It looks dangerous, but again, it relies a lot on your early game prowess to get that execution. But the Selena could throw a foil in the plants, but still, Jawhead is just so good over here. that unstoppable force. Joy can run wherever she wants around the map. He is gonna lock her down. Same thing with the Irritel. So you're forcing a Purify from Irritel right away. You need the Selena to play on a flicker. So that means the Gatcha's AOG is gonna do a lot of work against this Irritel straight away. So that means Irritel is gonna be the sole target. It's gonna be easy pickings for the Hayabusa. Yes, it's gonna have a better time in the lane, but Eliminators, again, a very good draft.
They're winning out in the textbook every time. I feel like especially I feel like this one. So I mean, I love that you addressed out the Jawhead and Sicilian. I feel like this time around they have the strongest combinations of. The whole reason is just like you mentioned, the Irithel is the main target, and it's gonna be an easy picking. It's basically that. And the Joy, this time around, the first game the Joy was picked off, there was Cho. Cho has a little bit difficulty chasing the Joy, but Joy doesn't have it. He's like a lock on missile. It's just gonna be locking onto the Joy. So I feel like this time around, Zohunt, again, they're gonna be facing definitely difficulties in the early, but I'm really looking forward to if Eliminators with an even better draft this time around. They have been writing a story, but they have been lacking on how to finish, give it a proper ending, and that's what Zohunt is making profit of it each time. And they got 2 games, but let's see what happens, Kronos.
Yeah, let's see what happens indeed, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends of all ages. Game number 3 out of the best of 7. Zohunt pulled off 2 upsets after a brilliant draft coming in from Eliminators. Will they do it again? Will third time be the charm to just dust the dust under Dusty Mizo's shoulder to make sure they come out on top against the Eliminators? We will see. As we can see, Eliminators going to be on the blue side as Zohunt are on the red. Your casters for this one, my name Kronos, alongside me the one and only Ray and Fredo to bring you the action as well. Take it away.
Thank you, Kronos. Banger intro once again and again. And let's see if Eliminators can banger this game. But I really love that Sararamon all throughout the 3 games, he has been playing Naruto skin. First game he was Naruto, second game Sasuke, and right now he's... I love that. Maybe he can go for a 4th game as well. But yeah, jokes aside though, we have both of the drafts. Eliminators looking very strong, not just in early. They have a lot of lock-ins and prepared. The Airtel gonna be winning out the laning phase, definitely against the Granger, but let's see if Fate can change the fate of, of a Granger main. But yeah, Fredo, what do you think? So far the rotations are nothing much out of the ordinary, quite usual.
One thing though, I mean, the rotations are of course usual. One thing that I would like to say is, I mean, these new minions, these new minions, the HP bar is confusing. The HP bar is just too confusing, these new minions.
Yeah,
I played in the side lanes and it's a little bit harder to last hit actually.
I kind of agree actually. They're a little bit, but in the mid phase we just noticed that, right? Mizo-san as well as Art, both of the roamers wasted out the flickers just before the turtle fight. That's 20 seconds on the clock. It's still, I feel like that flicker was definitely necessary, but of course into the bottom lane we're gonna be seeing the XP laners do get out, into the top lane we're seeing the gold laners do get out. But 4 members on the bot lane already. I think they can come into it, even though Art doesn't have a flicker.
Yeah. Seems like, Eliminators are always the one who approach the initial objectives first.
Oh, you can see they claps on them. First blood in their hands, and they take another 1-for-1 trade. Fade in for bid. Mid laner for mid laner Dusty. He was thinking about it. Right now he can go. Are they trying to get them as Win catches them off guard? Legend and Art still somehow survive thanks to the Revitalize, as Dusty is able to pick up the turtle quite easily now.
Saramon still has a retribution, he can commit to it, but look at that.
Oh, AOG coming through, he misses the retribution, Saramon, but Destiny catches it at the same time. You can see nice throw and nice kills. Another 1-for-1 trade, win for Legend, but Art pays the price as well. Here comes the Abyssal Arrow, and Fate makes the rotation. Death Sonata along with the Rhapsody. Double kill in the hands of Faden. They needed the early game, and they got that in their hands. Faden is lethal on the Selena.
The purple buff door?
Yep.
The invade coming through, Dusty Mizo, he's trying to take it away, has the electrifying beats, cannot commit, goes out, no backup whatsoever. Saramon and Eliminators have some breathing room.
Fredo, this is the first game, this is the 3rd game, right? This is the first game where Zohunt is the one taking the early game, and obviously it's the credit to Faden on the Selena. That she was the points, what am I saying, plan spoiler, and it's definitely coming into play. But Art, does he want to commit?
Oh yeah, you can see the fist break, fist crack combo going through. The arrow hits as well. Art gets taken down. Selena has been lethal once again. As Dusty Mizo tried. And now they get another. He finds a double kill. He's looking for the third. Should be able to get that. And Irithel picks it up indeed. Mizo-san pays the price. That's a 3-for-1 trade right there off the back of one single abyssal arrow.
4 minutes. Under 4 minutes, 7 kills, Zohunt. It feels like a complete turnaround from the previous situations, Fredo.
Definitely. I mean, they were playing so patiently, but oh, seems like the brawl meta is back.
Yeah, feels like it, doesn't it? At this point, Zohunt just want to fight, fight, fight. They want to get that goal lead in their favor. They know that if it goes in towards the mid to late game, Eliminators have the advantage, especially with that long-range skills. As here, Legend and Win just duke it out, but hey, they're just two tanky boys.
And I love that you pointed it out because, you know, from the last 2 games, it was Eliminators getting the early to mid game. They were even getting the late. It's just that the ending wasn't there. Oh. What if Zohunt has a chance to show that basically they can end it even if they're, you know, they do not have to throw the late game because they right now have the early phases, and I feel like they have a solid ending choice as well. But oh, look at that, the trap.
Oh yeah, you can see Win is the target, and they go for the ejector along the unstoppable force. The Mod Forcers drop down. As you can see, AOG comes through as Art is the first one to fall. Legend tried to create the space, and yes, he did. Win is the target once again. Revitalize self, survive the Stranger. Fate goes down. It's a double. They find Mizo-san finally. Legend and Win going ham at each other, but Win will almost go down. No, he doesn't. Legend barely survives. He gets the taunt, has the damage, but will go down in the hands of Fate. He is unstoppable while Dusty picks up another. Bid is down and out for the count. Zohunt, how are they doing this? They definitely are the hunters and not the hunted.
Hello?
Oh, again, Art, unstoppable force with the ejector catching Dusty Mizo. Sir Armon finds the shutdown as he gets the turtle as well.
My goodness. I mean, these people won't let Kronos rest today, I guess. Of course, Zohunt is in a mood to spoil Kronos'
ejector with the flicker coming through. Sir Armon goes with the quad shadow. Shadow kill. Now Mizo-san looks like he's in trouble. Able to use the fist break to get out of harm's way. That was lethal as Faden's arrow has been doing a lot of work so far. And Mizo-san picks up the Thunderbolt. So finds himself a little more tankiness.
Fate got the Sky Piercer as well. So looking to the snowball. Oh, look at the poke.
Oh, they have the extended range. They have the poke. Art doesn't have the flicker, but he's been catching targets. But every single time Faden gets an arrow, it is looking dangerous for Eliminators.
Absolutely.
And now they're trying to approach the bottom lane, getting caught once again.
Win gets caught out. You can see there comes the glorious pathway. Arrow misses. AOG to the backside to make sure he runs out. And finally in the hands of Fate, there is a kill. Dusty Mizo comes through. As you can see, the electrifying beats already unlocked. Mizo-san waiting in the bush right now in the river, trying to dominate. At the same time, Sarar Moon has to clear out the waves. A lot of pressure being applied by Zohunt. But even though they have the kills, even though they have the pressure, look at the gold, folks. It is even. Eliminators are not letting this game slip away.
That's what they're trying to do right now.
Mizo-san. He gets taken down. Killing spree in the hands of Sarar Moon. It's been brawl after brawl. Art goes in with the conceal. Win gets the law and order. Arrows right now won't be as effective because they're not so aggressive. Dusty Mizo has to run away because here is the rest of the cavalry coming through. Sarar Moon goes for the Oki shadow kill. Prime gets taken down. Mega kill in his hands. Glorious pathways there from Win. Trying to buy some time, but Art goes in with the ejector and the unstoppable force. AOG to create the separation. Win gets caught out. And now, looking like they're going to get a kill. Is the Death Sonata going to be available? No, it is not. The arrow connects on towards Legend as Sarar Moon picks up the turtle.
Look at that. Eliminators immediately bouncing back from that 6-minute point where Selena's power rest was going to be slowly falling off. Faden was obviously lethal, but oh my god, Art is not going to stop. He's looking for targets, but oh!
Ejector. Mizo-san gets caught up by the fist break, fist crack combo, finding some time as they get the kill. Unstoppable is Sarar Moon. Glorious pathways down as Win with the rest of Zohunt will have to run away, and now Zohunt need to come up with a plan. 2K goal lead in the hands of Eliminators. Art goes through with the help of that push coming through, and oh, it's looking so dicey. Eliminators are breathing down the necks of Zohunt right now.
And with that, seems like Eliminators are finally getting back what they want, and as the game progresses, it's only going to get into their favor.
Pazar hayat demiş.
What
Another
was that burst?
kill, another trade, Dusty Mizo for Art. It is still in the favor of Eliminators. It looks so nice, it looks so breezy. If you were a Zohunt fan, it's not looking easy right now because Eliminators are taking the game away one kill at a time, one objective at a time, one jungle creep away. They are in the late game. They are late game monsters, rather. They're still in the mid game. 9 minutes in. Bid is 045, but he definitely is going to have the damage as Fate has 10 stacks on the Sky Piercer.
372 building up towards that 400, so he's definitely not behind that farm at all. Even though Faden was trying to obstruct so much, 615 on the KDA for a reason. Fate is still the bottom lane. Can they pick off?
Moon, he's trying to get out. He has the Quad Shadow, escapes as well. They threw everything at him. It was the chain CC combo, but not enough damage. And guess what? The rest of Eliminators take away the top tier 2. The Lord is almost up now, Fredo. You think they'll be able to get that?
Not really sure how they can do that right now because Zohunt. Prime. The poke is just too heavy for them to sustain, and that's the reason they can't even go in with these frontliners that they have right now. So it should be easy Lord here. First Lord for Eliminators, surely. And now they're going to look for something in that blue, for the blue buff probably, but okay. Dusty gets it.
And Fredo, despite Faden giving it such great early lead, it's pretty evident that right now his power is basically fallen off. He cannot really do anything. Even if they land, can they commit? Okay, looking at the itemizations, 2 Skypers into the hands of Team Eliminators, and of course they're stacking up as much as possible. It does connect, but look at that. They cannot commit. Too tanky, not enough damage. There's not even a Holy Crystal in the hands of Dusty. He's building towards it, but 10 minutes in, you don't have a Holy Crystal. And Aethel does have true crit items, but is it going to be enough to survive the burst? Wind of Nature is not going to come in hand, especially after the nerf, so he needs that Rose Gold, but he also needs that attack speed, which is prioritizing right now. Lord's going to be walking from the mid lane. AOG!
The back line, Legend tries to find and create the space, but the Sanguine Claws catches 2, and you can see Win has to use the Glorious Pathway in a defensive position. That doesn't sound good for Zohunt and Zohunt fans, as Dusty Mizo right now going through. Ogi Shadow Kill comes out from and you can see, oh my goodness, their Armor almost got the kill. They get the topside inhibitor, Mizo-san, as well as Win is there. Right now they go to the back line, they get the ejector, Prime's the target, he goes down in the hands of Fate. They lose Art in the process, but godlike is Serar Moon as they find 2 and they find the 3rd, and now with the base crystal left exposed, Eliminators finally bounce back with the help of Madara.
The help of Madara, I love that. I love that. Madara in Mobile Legends 5v5. Eliminators pointers for themselves. Of course, the 4-0 is no longer there. Sorry, Bolty. But yeah, jokes aside though, this match definitely solidified one thing though, that Eliminators need to, like, this timer I feel like, since they didn't focus too much on that early game, they took a few L's on the early phase, they were able to immediately bounce back because of, just like you mentioned, that powers that they had into the mid to late phase.